How is everyone doing today? Welcome to week 6 of reselling enough product to pay for my ticket to Japan. And this week was another crazy week, but before we go into that, I just kind of want to talk about just something to keep on the back burner is that there is going to be an updated video very soon about my basement. If you recall, my first video was my basement tour, and yeah, I kind of want to do an updated one as a lot of things have changed, kind of the way I work down here, and I'm just kind of excited to show it off. Let's get rid of all that rambling and let's jump into the video that you clicked on. Okay, full disclaimer here, this was not a quantity heavy week. We'll start off with the smaller items first, and then we'll go on to the heavy hitters as the video progresses. So in this bag here we have one night that I picked up a bunch of stuff, so let's just jump into it. Okay, so for the first item of business, we did get a bunch of empty cases, 5 to be exact. And yeah, whenever I see these on Value Village shelves, they're usually for like $2 or $3, and I feel like if there's 5 or more, it makes sense to get them for about 75 cents each. You can get replacement cases, but they do tend to cost anywhere between $1 to $4. And I find that unless you buy them in big bulk, it's not really necessarily worth it. And just monetarily, I always recommend shipping games and things like that of that nature in very good clean cases. You know, it makes the business better and it makes the buyer happy. So I feel like whenever I see these cases, I usually clean them up and then repurpose them. In this package specifically, there was a lot of good hitters. So we have Call of Duty Black Ops in there, and then oddly enough, we have a Gears of War 2 Steelbook. Now if you don't know what a Steelbook is, a lot of games, Call of Duty Black Ops actually has one. A lot of these bigger names have Steelbooks in them, and they're just kind of like I would say like a special edition, standard edition, where it's just like in a Steelbook, there usually is like a little additive, but it's still the base game for the most part. And funny enough, on the shelf now for these two together, I paid $6 for them, and the Gears of War 2 box pays for about $20. So it works out to be that this is profitable, but again, the Call of Duty Black Ops case and artwork and the manual that's in there is worth it on its own. Where it's just a box that's just full of like broken cases and whatever else, a bunch of games that I still have to get to, but I just haven't yet. And I think I do have an extra copy of Gears of War 2, so that's gonna work really nicely together. While I was in that section, I also did pick up 3 Wii Remote controller sleeves, and whenever I see these, I usually pick them up. Granted, if the condition is off, then I kind of am a little more worrisome about it. They are kind of difficult to clean. However, these ones are in really good condition, so we'll definitely use those. And then while it was also there, I did find a Wii Remote and nunchuck combo. These are in relatively good condition as well. They do need a little bit of touch cleaning, so that will go in the bin of things to clean. Whenever you're doing something like this on a bigger scale, where you're buying and selling a lot of things quite frequently, I do have a box that is just dedicated to cleaning things that need to be cleaned, controllers, things of that nature, where I can just go through it with a nail file or isopropyl alcohol and just clean the item entirely, so you know the customer is happy. But also, not only that, but I also don't like selling product that is dirty. It just kind of looks bad, and it kind of shows a reflection of your business. So for the most part, I like to sell things that are very clean. There are some things that I've sold in the past that are untested and just kind of as is. So for example, laptops, older consoles, etc. Those are as is. I've mentioned them as is, and they're not clean. And while I was also there, you have to check out the games. So I did get Just Dance 2. This one right here is complete in a very good condition. And Call of Duty World at War, I picked this up for $4. Just Dance for $5.99. And to top things off, I did find a copy of Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy Star Wars game. This game is super cool, and it's still sealed, which is also really cool. I think this does fairly well on Amazon, but nonetheless, the fact that it's sealed on its own is really interesting. One thing I want to mention as well, if you guys have ideas for the background of this area, this is where I process a lot of the games. So after I make these videos, I just put things in processing and then put them in the various locations they need to go. I don't know if you can see it down there. You can kind of see it, zoom in here. But there's an FBA inventory box. So like whenever I'm processing things, toss it down there. If it goes to Amazon, put it over there. If it goes to eBay and whatnot. But my whole point is I want to make this area a little nicer on the eyes for either myself or for you guys. And yeah, so if you guys have ideas, let me know and then we'll do it. Alright, and something I missed on last week's order is I missed these 3 games. These games do fairly well. Monsters vs. Aliens, a show I've never watched as a kid, but I know is very popular. NBA Jam. Apparently that's really popular too. And then of course you can't forget about Minecraft. Minecraft, one of those games, best-selling game of all time, and yeah, it does fairly well on all platforms it sells on. I picked these up for $4 a piece. All right, and then after this amount of games, that's pretty much all I picked up. There's a couple bigger ones that I want to show off, and we'll definitely go over those, but these are the other smaller games that I got. So we'll quickly go over them. There's only 6 of them here. Monopoly Streets. Now, I don't know how well this game goes on any platform, but it's a Monopoly game, and Monopoly is probably one of the best board games out there. Don't at me on that one. WWE 2K14. Now, WWE games sell very well all the time, and this one, I think it's a hit or miss. So I'm kind of just taking a little gamble on it. It was only $5, so. The Simpsons Hit and Run. This game is an absolute classic, and I paid $37 for this guy. I think it's a little bit of an overpay, but that's fine. It does it is complete, and it is in very good condition, so that will definitely do fairly well. Guitar Hero Aerosmith. This one right here, I paid $10 for it, which it sells for around that.
Look at you. Yuck.
But it does have the tour book in it, which generally makes it an increase in sales a little bit, but the weight is a little heavier, so you do have to pay a little more on shipping. I don't know. This one again was a hit or miss. I guess we'll see how this goes. Call of Duty Black Ops on the Wii. Now again, I've mentioned this before, Black Ops, World at War, Minecraft, these are all games I buy every time I see them. I don't know about my Call of Duty Black Ops on the Wii. However, it is complete. I only paid $5 for it. It is in very good condition. I'm gonna be honest with you, I did buy this just to try it for myself. And then last but not least, we do have Cars Family Hits on the Xbox 360. I played this game on the GameCube, and this game was an absolute blast as a kid. It is complete and it's in good condition, so I mean, the case could probably use a little bit. I might swap these cases out. Again, going back to what I said earlier, it's better for the business to ship out cases that are in good condition. And this is, again, one of those examples where it's kind of bubbling, but the artwork is in good condition. So I would like to just swap the artwork, the main the disc, over to a newer case. All right, now that we got the smaller stuff out of the way, let's go for the bigger items. I'm super excited to start showing these off, and let's just jump right into it. Okay, so to my surprise, these do very well. Digital cameras are making a comeback. Don't know why. Is it like a nostalgia thing? Because I feel like that's what it has. I mean, your camera, my iPhone, I think this was comparison to like an iPhone 5. We are now on the iPhone 16, and you have a way better camera in your palm of your hand than bringing out an actual camera like this. So if you guys have any inside knowledge about why these sell the way they do, please keep me updated. I paid $11 for this guy. It is complete in the box, even with the disc. The camera does work. It comes with I think it was an 8GB SD card, which, you know, for something like this at the time was a lot. So nowadays you hear that and it's just like not a lot at all. But nonetheless, it's cool that the box is here. The box is a little scuffed up, but for the most part, it's in pretty good condition. And because we were talking about boxes, I have to do this now. I'm super excited to show this off. We got a Nintendo GameCube box right here. I paid $15 for this, and it's in pretty good condition considering the age. Like, everything is for the most part pretty good. This one right here isn't going anywhere. Even if people offer money for this, this is sitting in my collection. The GameCube is my absolute favorite console of all time, and yeah, this bad boy isn't going anywhere. Now again, you can buy these for, like, I would say a pretty reasonable price. However, it's finding the people that sell them is the issue. But from the same seller I bought that box from, we got a complete in box Super Mario World 3 for the Game Boy Advance. This is again in the same condition as the other one. For the most part, you might get some you know, we have something right here where it's a little bent along the edges, but for the most part, this box is an absolute beautiful condition. I am considering getting a little case for it. Finding something like this nowadays is kind of hard to do. All the manuals are in there, and I'm gonna have a tough time putting these all back in properly. So I'm just gonna set this aside for right now. But yeah, that I paid $20 for that thing. So with that and the GameCube box, I paid a total of $35 for both of them. And I would say I got a really good deal out of that. And I didn't even have to hassle her because that's what she was asking for. She was asking 15 and 20 on both of those. And I said I'll go pick it up right now. And she said, absolutely, I'll hold it for you until you get here. And I picked it up and she was super nice. And yeah, it was great, great deal. We also got a Nintendo Switch dock for $15.99. Now this dock does work and it's in great condition. So I mean, a dock for 15 bucks, I think they sell for like roughly $50, so I would say that's a good deal. Okay, so for these last 5 items, I just want to tell you, like, this is crazy, and it's such a good, I don't know, this is such a good feeling. So for starters, we got a copy of Fire Red. Now this doesn't have a label onto it, which is kind of unfortunate. I don't really know what happens to labels, because like, I remember I was really rough with my Pokemon Emerald as a kid. It was going in and out of the console so often, but you know, the labels didn't really scratch until it was thrown in and out of storage. So like, just seeing one completely gone is crazy. He originally had $100 on this guy, but with, I guess, people messaging about the label, he kind of dropped it down a little bit to $60. And then he also had this copy of Pokemon Heart Gold, this loose cartridge, for $100. So together it was $160, but because I picked them both up, he knocked it down to $145. So together, that's a really good deal. And then literally the next day, I saw a complete copy of Pokemon Heart Gold for $120. I didn't even try and haggle the guy, I just bought it immediately. Now when you're buying games like this is a very expensive game. This game is definitely worth more than $120. And you know, when you're buying things like this, you have to ensure that they're real. Like, there are a lot of counterfeits, especially in the Pokemon industry. So there's definitely a lot of things you have to do, and I plan on making a video at some point in the near future about how to spot fakes and counterfeits for both the DS and the Game Boy Advance Pokemon games, and they're getting really good. So it's a video that I think I need to make. There's been lots of videos about them, and I feel like even if I repeat the same things that people have already said, it's definitely like more eyes onto this subject. You know, when you're paying for something that's this expensive, you want something that is real and authentic and not counterfeit. So yeah, like I said, a really good deal. This is a real copy, which I was very skeptical about at first, but nonetheless, it's real, and now I bought it. And then to end the week off, today, actually, I did buy two more Pokemon DS games. Pearl and Diamond, not the brilliant ones for the Switch, but the original, the OG for the Nintendo DS. I'm pretty sure these were one of the launch titles for the Nintendo DS, and yeah, like, I grew up playing Pokemon Pearl. This is the one I grew up playing, not this exact one, but this is the version. And yeah, Palkia was like my go-to, and I remember losing. My buddy and I would often like put up wager Pokemons, and because he had Pokemon Diamond, I would always put up my Palkia, and I would always lose it and have to reset the game and try again the next time I saw him, which obviously isn't ideal, but you know, at the end of the day, it's a core memory I have. So getting them both in my possession, seeing them side by side like this is really cool. Am I gonna sell them? I don't entirely know, but nonetheless, I mean, a cool way to end off the week. And again, these were the last 3 items for the week. And again, like I said, very cool to see, very cool to see. And now that we're getting these kind of deals like a lot more frequently, we're getting a lot more of the higher end games like Pokemon. Yeah, like I don't know, it's just crazy to see. Nonetheless, that's where I'm gonna leave it here. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, make sure to like and comment. What was your favorite part? The biggest winners definitely had to be these guys right here. I mean, you can't go wrong with great deals on Pokemon games, especially because they're so hard to come by nowadays. But also, not only that, they're just classic games, especially when I was growing up. You know, I was a huge Pokemon nerd. But nonetheless, if you did enjoy the video, if you did like Pokemon, make sure you hit the subscribe button. If you enjoyed Pokemon at least a little bit, make sure you subscribe, because there's a lot more content coming. And nonetheless, I hope you guys enjoy, and I will see you guys in the next one.